Yo, what's going on, y'all? Mike here, Sports and the Real Shit. Welcome back to our countdown of the best players who have worn jersey number 30 through 1 in the NFL history. I've been having fun. Hope you have as well. If it's your first video, feel free to catch the others, man. We've had some good time talking about some of the all-time greats, and the jersey numbers you've worn. I kind of warned you a couple episodes ago that these numbers kind of get kind of weird in terms of, not a lot of top players worn the high teen numbers in NFL history. Obviously, we talked about Peyton with number 18. 17 was really mid. It was kind of sus for a long time until about 20-some years ago, okay? I remember, watching football in the early 90s, guys like Dave Craig and Steve DeBerg wore number 17. They weren't that good, all right? I'm going to be honest. Even though Dave Craig made three Pro Bowls, I didn't know that. But he played 19 years. By the time I started watching football, he was on the downside of his career. So I didn't, get to see the best years. But he played a lot of years in Seattle, and then a few more spread out with KC and Tennessee and Arizona, other teams around the league. 38,000 yards for his career. Not bad for that time period. 261 touchdowns, 199 picks, three-time Pro Bowler, like I said. But he was overshadowed by some of the bigger names of his time in Elway and Marino, Kelly, and these boys. Same thing with Steve DeBerg. Steve DeBerg actually ended his career with more picks and touchdowns. I just remember him specifically playing for the Bucks in that creamsicle jersey. But a long time back up in the league, ended his career with 34,000 yards. In 1990, he was 6th in MVP voting. I didn't know that, right? Some of these guys, like, I remember seeing, graphics when the Marino would be playing at Elway. You'll see these graphics come up, and, Dave Craig and Steve DeBerg are like, what? How these guys make it? And that's why, they had, a couple of really great seasons. And back then, right, that's really all you needed because quarterbacks weren't putting up crazy stats anyway, right? It was more of a running game. So, you'll have guys who ended their career with 38, 40,000 passing yards. And like, oh, that was amazing back then, even though now we'll look at it like, that ain't nothing. But again, Dave Craig, Steve DeBerg, shout out to those guys. Good quarterbacks, but nothing great. Don't mean no offense to those guys, right? But they weren't nothing great. And then came Jake Delhomme. Jake Delhomme won a Super Bowl with the Carolina Panthers, and he wasn't that great either. But he led them to a Super Bowl against the Pats, and Adam Vinatieri actually, ended up winning the Super Bowl for the Pats. But he played 11 years with the Saints, Carolina, for the most part, Cleveland, and Houston. 20,000 yards passing for his career, 126 touchdowns and 101 picks. His best season was in 2004, 29 touchdowns, 15 picks, a one-time Pro Bowler. But again, nothing great with the number 17, but solid career for Jake Delhomme and solid production, taking his team to the Super Bowl. But things started to turn with Phillip Rivers, my guy PR, with like 100 kids now. Turns out I'm actually 3 days older than Phillip Rivers. That's crazy, because when you watched him play, he just seemed like an old dude. He had all the knee braces on and the chest, protected joints. Like, he just looked like an old cat. The PR wasn't that old, at least for me, right? Because I'm older than him by 3 days. But PR, man, Phillip Rivers is actually one of the best quarterbacks to ever play. 17 years with San Diego and then Indianapolis towards the end there. He actually sat the first couple of years, right? But once he started playing, he was like that. I remember him at NC State, beat Florida State several times, and we couldn't stop this dude. Quick release, awkward, but quick and accurate as hell. 63,000 yards for his career, 421 touchdowns, 209 picks. 12 times he threw for 4,000 yards. 12 times. 12 times he threw for 4,000 yards, y'all. 2008 career high in touchdown with 34. In 2010, he had a career high 4,710 yards passing. He took risks, man. So he led the league in picks a couple times, 2 times. He threw 20 picks 2 times. But I loved it because he was a gunster. He took picks. He wasn't scared. He trash talked. He took hits. And he still balled out. 8-time Pro Bowler. 2013 Comeback Player of the Year. I remember him playing in the playoffs with a messed up ACL. 29 career fourth quarter comebacks. Like, he would stare down adversity, and oftentimes he came out on top. 35 game-winning drives. Phillip Rivers, man, one of the best dudes to ever wear number 17. I love his competitiveness, his fieriness. He was just like that, man. Like I said, quick release, awkward joint. But he got the job done, and he was a winner, right? Super Bowl or not, some guys are just winners. And Phillip Rivers was a winner. One of the absolute best dudes to wear number 17 in NFL history. Moving on, we'll stay at quarterback for now. Josh Allen. By the time he's done, he may be the best 17 ever and maybe one of the top quarterbacks to ever play the position. When Josh Allen first started, though, first couple of years, who knew he would become this? He was kind of mid, kind of sus. But Josh Allen is now all world. His arm is like a machine, robotic. 5 years in Buffalo, 18,000 yards so far, 138 touchdowns passing, 38 rushing touchdowns, 4,000 yards passing in the last 3 seasons, 2-time Pro Bowler, 11 fourth quarter comebacks, 15 game-winning drives, 1-time second-team All-Pro. The bad thing for him, I'm going to say this, all right, is that he's playing with Patrick Mahomes. And I'm going to be honest. If Patrick Mahomes played for Buffalo and Josh Allen played with Andy Reid and KC, we'll be having the same conversation in reverse. Josh will be viewing Josh as number 1 and Pat as number 2. Because Andy Reid, and I've said it before, put the quarterback in the best position to win at all times. One of the best play callers ever, but I'm getting beside the point here. But Josh Allen is one of the dudes, man. One of the dudes in the league. One of the greats. Crazy cannon for an arm. Throwing from all platforms. As a runner, he's like a bull. I hope he slows down with the running so he won't get hurt and ruin his career with some freak injury or something. In 2020, he had 4,554 yards, 37 touchdowns. 2021, 4,407 yards, 36 touchdowns. 2022, 4,283 yards, 35 touchdowns. Like, he's been so consistent with it, gets the job done, pretty much unstoppable as an individual player. But like I said, he has to stop running so he won't get himself hurt, man. Because we want to see this guy's career go into, double digits and beyond with him being healthy. But shout out to Josh, one of the absolute best quarterbacks right now, and has a chance to be one of the absolute best to ever play the game, wearing number 17. One of the best, I think, but not to the mainstream, one of my favorites, my guy, number 17, Ryan Tannehill. I've already told people, right, those who follow the podcast know my affinity for Ryan Tannehill. I felt like the Dolphins set him up for failure. And actually the jersey I'm wearing right now is Ryan Tannehill's jersey, the only Miami Dolphins jersey that I have. All right? That's how much I feel about this cat. But Ryan got a bad deal in Miami because we never put a team around him to highlight his talents. So as a result, a lot of people don't consider him as good as he was. But when you watch the highlights and you look at his stats, the man's a baller. So 11 years played in Miami, and now the last 3-4 in Tennessee. 33,000 total yards, 212 touchdowns passing, 25 career fourth quarter comebacks, 26 game-winning drives. Two times he's had 4,000 yards, both in Miami. In 2014, he had 40-45. In 2015, he had 42-08. One-time Pro Bowler, should have had more. He should have went to the Pro Bowl. I'm going to say this. He should have went to the Pro Bowl in 2020 when they gave it to Deshaun Watson when he had better stats than Deshaun and a team that won more games. Don't believe me? In 2020, Ryan Tannehill had 3,819 passing yards, 33 touchdowns, passing, 7 rushing. Deshaun Watson had 4,823 rushing total passing yards, 33 touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns. His team went 4-12. Ryan Tannehill's team went 11-5. You tell me who should have went to the Pro Bowl. So the media is straight biased, right? When they want to say winning matters, they pick one guy. When they want to say, stats matter, they pick another guy. But Deshaun Watson went to a Pro Bowl on a 4-12 team. Meanwhile, a guy whose stats was better and was on a winning team didn't go to the Pro Bowl. So you tell me, biased media, why did you choose Deshaun Watson that year over Ryan Tannehill? Of course you're going to say, well, it was Derrick Henry carried that team. Nah, Ryan still put up his stats. That excuse isn't made for anybody else, but for some reason, Ryan Tannehill doesn't get the benefit of the doubt there and go to the Pro Bowl, right? And I remember another example where Teddy Bridgewater went to the Pro Bowl that year in 2015. He went to the Pro Bowl. He threw 3,000 yards, 3,231 yards. I wrote it down here. 14 touchdown passing, 9 picks. Teddy Bridgewater was in the Pro Bowl. Why? Because his team won a lot of games that year. Ryan Tannehill stats that same year, 4,208 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 picks. Who had the better stats? But no, Ryan's team didn't win that much, and that's fair. But one year you can't give it to a guy because his team is winning, and then another year you don't give it to a guy when his team is winning and this guy's losing. So the media is going to have to make up their mind with being so biased. Is it the winning or is it the stats? And honestly, in 2020, Ryan Tannehill had both over Deshaun Watson, but Deshaun Watson went to the Pro Bowl. I'm going to leave it there. I'm biased, but so is the media. So just admit that you have a bias and just, don't act like you're just, being objective with this joint. You're just picking who you like. The household names, your favorites. Just say that. Just say you pick your favorites. You're like fanboys, and you're picking your favorite players to the Pro Bowl. Because objectively, there is no reason for Deshaun, and I love Deshaun, but there's no reason for Deshaun to have gone to the Pro Bowl over Ryan Tannehill. Rant over. Ryan has one-time comeback player of the year. Record with Tennessee, 36-19. My guy. Dolphins dealt him a bad hand. If he had some weapons around him like he does now, he would have still been a Dolphin and we would have been winning, man. We would have way more success with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. But hey, I'm happy for him. It is what it is. One of the best 17s ever. Tough, accurate as hell, not scared to throw that ball in there. Y'all see this cat. Y'all see this cat, right? Y'all see these highlights, right? Yeah, they speak for themselves. One of the best ever, Ryan Tannehill, number 17. Keep doing your thing, dog. All right, switching positions. One of the first OG 17s at receiver position was Plaxico with the Jets and the Giants. With Pittsburgh, he actually wore number 80. But he was at the top of his game, getting ready to blow up and be that guy, and then he shot himself, or the gun went off and he shot himself in the leg, man. Super Bowl winner with the Giants. A real bully at receiver, big body cat again, man. 553 total receptions, 8,499 yards, 64 touchdowns. His best was in 2022 with Pittsburgh with 78 receptions, 1,325 yards, 7 touchdowns. But he had 4 1,000-yard seasons. I remember that game-winning touchdown catch in the Super Bowl with the Giants against the New England Patriots. But he shot himself, man, and that pretty much killed his career, right? He's talked about it. I heard him talk about it on the Pivot podcast. Really got his head on his shoulders now, but, man, sometimes you wish guys had made better decisions, when they were, younger. But life happens. It is what it is. But one of the best 17s. I remember Plaxico. The cat knew how to get open. He had hands, catch the ball. One of the best receivers in the game at the time. He wasn't that fast, but he knew how to get open and catch the ball. Just a pro receiver. One of the best, Plaxico Burress, number 17. One of the absolute best cats, really at number 17, that has a chance to be like one of the best, is Davante Adams. Davante Adams can't be stopped one-on-one, man. His feet's too damn quick. He got too much wiggle. He's too elusive, man. Off the line of script, you can't bump him. You can't press him. Like, this cat is just too nice with it. Obviously played with Green Bay for a long time with Aaron Rodgers, had a special connection. But even with the Raiders last year, like, you can't stop this cat from catching the ball from getting open when he wants to. Okay, 4 1,000-yard seasons so far, 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, 769 receiving yards, 9,600 receptions, 9,600 receiving yards, 87 touchdowns so far. 4 times he's had 100 catches. 6 times he's had 10 touchdowns. Led the league in 2020 with 18 touchdowns, and then again in 2022 with 14 touchdowns. This cat is all-world, one of the absolute best. When you think of the top receivers in the NFL today, Davante Adams is smack dab right up there. You can't stop this guy from getting open. If his quarterback doesn't get him the ball, that's on him, because Davante is going to be open if it's one-on-one. Even against sometimes double coverage, he finds a way to get open and catch the ball, man. Like I said, his feet are just too quick. His rush is just too nasty. He's just too good. You can't stop this guy, and especially nowadays when you can't bump him after a certain number of yards, it's a wrap. You got no chance one-on-one against Davante Adams. One of the absolute best cats to ever play in the NFL. One of the absolute best right now, and when he's all said and done, he's going to be one of the absolute best to have played that position ever. Number 17, Davante Adams. Young cats, one of my guys, Dolphins, Jaylen Waddle. He's only been here 2 years, but so far 2,371 yards, 14 touchdowns. 2022, last year he had 75 receptions, 1,356 yards, 8 touchdowns, 18.1 yards per catch. You want to talk about media bias again? You want to talk about the media voting for being fanboys? and just voting for who's popular and not really looking at the stats and being objective, Jaylen Waddle should have been a Pro Bowler last year. He should have made the Pro Bowl. Jamar Chase made the Pro Bowl even though he missed a few games. He ended with 87 catches, 1,446 yards, 9 touchdowns. You trying to tell me that's better stats than 75 catches, 1,356 yards, and 8 touchdowns? Huh? You gonna tell me that Jamar Chase's stat line, 1 touchdown more, 9 catches more, or 8 catches more, and 300 yards less is better? Should get a Pro Bowl nod? Nah, man. Once again, the media's picking with their feelings, not being objective, man. Jaylen Waddle should have been in the Pro Bowl, and the media's bias behind is going to say, nah, we were objective. Listen, Jamar is one of the best receivers in the game, no doubt. But last year, if we're just going by stats, Jaylen Waddle was one of the best. You can say what you want about him having cheated there with him. Well, Chase is playing with T. Higgins, who's no slouch. Now what? So what are we doing here, people? What are we doing? Are we really voting off of objectivity and stats and who belongs, or are we going with our feelings and we're being fanboys? And you can be a fanboy. Just admit that you're a fanboy, media, and don't act like you're more objective than the actual fans who vote with their feelings for their favorite players. That's all I'm asking. Be objective. Jaylen Waddle should have been at the damn Pro Bowl last year, and he was a snub. Clearly a better season than Chase. It is what it is. I ain't mad, though. I'm used to Dolphins players getting snubbed. That's what it is. That's what it is. We get overlooked all the time. But shout out to Jaylen, man. Quick, fast. Can't really stop him one-on-one either. Once he catches the ball, he's a threat to take it to the house at any point in time. Big dog, I want to see you continue to grow, continue to get better, man. So much potential. If he stays healthy, he's going to be at the top of the 17 list for sure as one of the best receivers all time. He's just too damn fast, man. You can't keep this guy in front of you, man. Once he gets his hands on the ball, it's possibly a wrap each and every time. So shout out to Jaylen Waddle, one of the best 17s currently, and potentially to be one of the best 17s all time. All right, y'all. That's it for number 17. Appreciate y'all watching once again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. You know what it is. But I'm going to catch you guys next time. Mike, Sports with the Rush. Peace.